Hey everyone! Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm sharing an inspiring story about Sophia's journey of learning English. It's not just about mastering a language, but also about discovering herself and connecting with the world. Stay tuned. This story might just motivate you on your own language learning path. My name is Sophia. I grew up in a small town called Springfield. My family was simple. My parents worked hard, and they always wanted the best for me. As a little girl, I dreamed of traveling the world, but one thing stopped me. I didn't speak fluent English. I remember my first day at school. I was shy. I didn't know how to say hello to new friends. I wanted to speak, but the words wouldn't come out. I felt scared, like a bird stuck in a cage. My teacher smiled at me. She told me, "Sophia, don't worry. You will learn." Every night, I practiced English. My mom would help me. She would say, "One step at a time," and her words felt like a warm hug. Slowly, I learned new words. Each new word I learned from my Apple Book friend felt like a small victory. In high school, I was still nervous about speaking English. I would hide behind my books. But there was one moment that changed everything. It was during a school play. They asked me to speak one line on stage. My heart raced. I was scared, but I said so. The crowd clapped. I felt so happy. I cried. That day, I realized speaking English was not so scary. As I grew older, I wanted to learn more. My dream was to go to London. London felt so far away. I didn't know if I was ready. But one summer, I saved up money and booked a ticket. The day I left for London, my mom hugged me tightly. She whispered, "You're ready, Sophia." When I arrived in London, the city was big and beautiful. The buildings were tall. The streets were busy, but I felt lost. Everyone spoke so fast. I couldn't understand. My heart sank. I felt tears in my eyes. I missed home. I missed the slow, soft way my mom spoke to me. I walked around London, trying to talk to people. Sometimes they didn't understand me. I felt small, but I remembered what my teacher said. "Don't worry. You will learn." And I didn't give up. I started by learning new phrases every day. I would write them down in my notebook. Simple inquiries like, "Where is the train station?" Or "How much is this?" are important. Or "How much is this?" I would practice with people in cafes and shops. They smiled when I tried, and that made me feel good. One day, I met a girl named Lily. She was from California, just like me, and she also felt lost in London. We became friends. We would walk around the city together, helping each other with English. Lily would laugh and say, "Sophia, we're getting better every day." Her laughter always made me feel better. We visited museums and parks, practicing English everywhere. We would sit by the river, talking about our families and dreams. Do you think we'll ever be fluent? One day, Lily asked. I smiled and said, yes, we just have to keep trying. Some days were harder than others. There were moments when I felt like giving up. I would call my mom, and she would remind me of how far I'd come. She would say, remember the school play? You were scared, but you did it. You'll do this too. One rainy afternoon in London, I found myself in a bookstore. I picked up a book called The Power of Words. It had a quote that stuck with me. Language is not just about speaking. It's about connecting hearts. Tears filled my eyes. I realized English was not just a tool. It was a bridge between me and the world. After months of living in London, I noticed a change in myself. I wasn't scared to speak anymore. My words flowed more easily. I made new friends. I could understand jokes, have deep conversations, and even help others with English. In the city, Lily and I joined an English club. Every week, we would meet people from all over the world, all of whom were learning English like us. We shared our stories, our struggles, and our victories. It was a place full of kindness and patience. No one judged you for making mistakes. In fact, they encouraged you to make them, because that's how we learn. One day, I stood in front of the group and gave a speech about my journey. I talked about my first day in school, the school play, and my trip to London. As I spoke, I felt tears in my eyes, but this time they were not tears of fear. They were tears of pride. I was proud of how far I had come. I told the group, English is not just a language. It's a key to new places, new people, and new dreams. Looking back, I see how learning English helped me grow. It gave me the confidence to travel, to meet new people, and to chase my dreams. Most importantly, it taught me that our stories connect us all, regardless of our origins. So here are some tips I learned on my journey. Start small. Every word is a step forward, just like I did with words like apple and book. Practice every day. Even if you're just talking to yourself in the mirror, it all helps. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. I made many, but each one taught me something new. Find a friend to learn with. Like Lily, a friend makes the journey less lonely and a lot more fun. Use English in real life. Talk to people, ask questions, even if you're nervous. Each conversation is practice. Believe in yourself. My mother also had faith in me. Confidence grows with time, but it starts with believing you can do it. Enjoy the process. Learning is not just about the end goal. In between, you make memories and meet people. English opened doors for me. It brought me to London, helped me make lifelong friends, and made me stronger. It taught me that if you take small steps every day, no dream is too big. Now I want to leave you with a thought. Language is not just words. It's the key to understanding hearts, dreams, and the world. As I spent more time in London, something magical happened. I began to love the city, the tall buildings, the busy streets, and the quiet parks all felt like home. I no longer felt lost. I felt free. It was as if learning English opened my eyes to the beauty around me. One day, while exploring a new part of the city, I found myself lost. I was nervous, but instead of panicking, I asked a stranger for directions. The man smiled and helped me find my way. It was a small moment, but I felt proud. I didn't need to hide anymore. I could communicate with the world around me. I began to notice that people were kinder when I spoke with confidence. They listened closely, and they appreciated my effort. I realized something important. It's not about speaking perfectly. It's about being brave enough to try. I started carrying a small notebook everywhere I went. I would write down new words I heard on the street, in cafes, or while talking to strangers. Each word felt like a treasure. Some days, I would sit by the river, flipping through my notebook, repeating the words to myself. One memory I hold close to my heart is the time I met Mrs. Williams, an old lady who lived near my apartment in London. She loved to garden, and every afternoon I would see her outside, tending to her flowers. One day, I gathered the courage to speak to her. I said, "Your flowers are beautiful." Her face lit up, and she invited me to sit with her. We talked for hours. She told me stories of her youth, of love and loss, of hope and dreams. Her voice was gentle, and her words were filled with wisdom. Sophia said, "Life is like a garden. It takes time, patience, and care, but if you give it love, it will blossom." Tears welled up in my eyes. Mrs. Williams' words stayed with me, reminding me that learning English, like life, was a process that required patience and love. One day, I faced a big challenge. I had to give a presentation in front of my class at the English club. My heart raced as I stood before my classmates. My hands were shaking, and I could feel the weight of everyone's eyes on me. But then I remembered Mrs. Williams' words. Life takes patience. I took a deep breath and began to speak. My voice was shaky at first, but as I continued, it became stronger. When I finished, the room was quiet for a moment. Then they clapped. I couldn't help but smile, feeling the warmth of their support. After the presentation, I sat in a park, thinking about how far I had come. I realized that English wasn't just a tool for communication. It had become a part of who I was. It had helped me grow, not just as a speaker, but as a person. One evening, Lily and I decided to visit the London Eye, the big Ferris wheel that overlooks the city. As we reached the top, the sun was setting, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink. The view was breathtaking. We stood there, silent for a moment, taking in the beauty of the city we had come to love. Lily looked at me and said, "Sophia, can you believe we made it here?" I smiled and replied, "Yes, we did. We didn't just come to London. We found ourselves here." That night, as I lay in bed, I thought about how much English had changed my life. It wasn't just about learning a language. It was about discovering new parts of myself, finding strength in moments of weakness, and building connections with people from all walks of life. But it wasn't always easy. There were moments when I felt like giving up. I remember one rainy day when nothing seemed to go right. I couldn't understand the people I was speaking to, and I felt embarrassed. I came home that evening, sat by the window and cried. I called my mom, my voice shaking. "Mom, I don't think I can do this anymore," I said. She listened quietly. Then she said, "Sophia, remember the first time you rode a bike? You fell many times, but you kept getting back up. This is exactly the same. You'll get back up." Her words gave me the strength to continue, and gradually, day by day, I improved. Each conversation became easier, and each word became clearer. I realized that the only way to truly fail was to stop trying. If I could go back and give my younger self some advice, I would say, be kind to yourself. Learning is not a race. Everyone learns at their own pace. Here are more tips that helped me improve my English, and they might assist you too. Read simple books. Start with children's books or short stories. Reading enables you to understand sentence structure and introduces you to new vocabulary. Watch movies or shows in English. Turn on subtitles at first, then try without them. It's a beneficial way to learn how native speakers talk. Speak out loud. Even if you're alone, talk to yourself. This helps your brain get used to forming English sentences. Record yourself speaking. Listen to it later and see how you can improve. Don't be shy about how you sound. You're learning. Join a language exchange group. This is where people from different countries practice speaking with each other. It's a wonderful way to learn and make friends. Use flashcards. Write new words on flashcards and carry them with you. When you have a free moment, look at them. Set small goals. Instead of thinking about fluency, focus on little milestones like learning 5 new words a day or having a short conversation. English has given me so many gifts. It has taken me to places I never thought I'd go. It has introduced me to people who have changed my life. And most of all, it has given me the confidence to believe in myself. There's a beautiful thought I want to share with you. Every word you learn is a step towards a bigger world. This world is brimming with fresh opportunities, new friendships, and new dreams. As I sit here thinking about my journey, I realize that learning English wasn't just about mastering a language. It was about finding my voice. I've always harbored a voice within me, eagerly awaiting recognition. I believe we all have that voice. Whether you're just starting to learn English or you're on your way to fluency, remember that your voice matters. Even simple words can connect you to the world. Now, I want to ask you, what's your English learning story? How has it affected your life? Let's share our stories and inspire each other to keep going. Thanks for watching. If you've had your own experiences learning English or any language, feel free to share them in the comments below. Let's inspire and support each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories and language tips. See you in the next video.